Have you ever caught a glimpse of yourself in a mirror in certain lighting and thought, when did that happen? Maybe you noticed the skin under your chin looking looser than it used to. Maybe you saw a photo of yourself and barely recognized the lower part of your face. Maybe you have been noticing that the jawline that used to look defined and firm is gradually softening and drooping in a way that no cream or serum has been able to reverse. And the frustrating part is that you have probably tried things. You have probably spent money on products that promised results and delivered very little. What if I told you that the real reason your face is changing has almost nothing to do with the surface of your skin and almost everything to do with what is happening in the deeper layers underneath it? And what if 3 specific exercises that take just minutes a day could genuinely begin to change that picture starting this week? I am Dr. Weston, and today we are going to talk about facial aging, specifically why the lower face and neck area changes so dramatically as we get older, what is actually driving those changes beneath the surface, and 3 targeted exercises that some people report producing noticeable improvements in facial firmness and definition within just a few weeks of consistent practice. In 15 years of clinical practice, I have had so many patients, particularly women and men in their 60s and 70s, tell me that changes in their face have genuinely affected their confidence and their sense of themselves. They feel healthy, they feel active, but what they see in the mirror does not match how they feel inside. Today, I want to give you a completely different understanding of why this happens and what you can actually do about it. Before we go any further, I want you to drop a comment below right now and tell me honestly, what part of your face concerns you most when you look in the mirror today? Just tell me in your own words. I read every single comment personally, and today your answer is going to help me understand exactly what to cover next. And if you have ever spent money on a cream, serum, or treatment that promised to firm your face and delivered disappointing results, please add the word yes to your comment. Now, let me explain something about facial aging that I genuinely believe most people have never heard explained clearly, because once you understand what is actually happening beneath the surface of your skin, the entire picture changes. Most people think of facial aging as primarily a skin problem. The skin loses elasticity, becomes thinner, develops lines, and loses its youthful tightness. And while those skin changes are real and visible, they are actually the surface expression of something happening much deeper. Your face is made up of multiple distinct layers. The skin on the outside, a layer of fat beneath the skin, then a layer of connective tissue called fascia, then the muscles themselves, and finally, the actual bone structure underneath everything. Every single one of those layers changes as we age. And what you see on the surface when you look in the mirror is the cumulative visible result of changes happening in all of those layers simultaneously. The bone structure of your face actually reshapes gradually over time. The bones of the jaw, the cheekbones, and the eye sockets slowly change their dimensions across decades. This bone remodeling affects the scaffolding that everything above it is resting on and contributes significantly to the characteristic changes in facial appearance that we associate with aging. No cream on earth reaches the bone layer. No serum affects bone remodeling. This is why so many topical products produce limited or no lasting results. They are addressing the very outermost layer of a much deeper structural process. The fascial layer, that connective tissue beneath the skin and fat, also changes over time. It becomes less elastic, less resilient, and less able to provide the firm supportive scaffolding it offered when it was younger. This fascial loosening contributes significantly to that sagging, drooping quality that appears in the lower face and neck as decades pass. But perhaps the most directly addressable layer is the muscle layer. And this is where today gets genuinely practical and genuinely exciting. I have a patient I want to tell you about, a lovely 68-year-old woman named Catherine, who came to see me not about a medical concern, but about something she described as losing her face. Catherine was healthy, active, and felt great physically. But she told me that every time she looked in the mirror, she felt like she was looking at someone significantly older than she felt inside. The area under her chin had become noticeably loose. Her jawline had softened. She had tried various creams and one expensive treatment without meaningful results. When Catherine and I talked through what was actually happening in her face structurally, and I introduced her to the exercises I'm going to share with you today, she was genuinely surprised that nobody had ever explained this to her before. 6 weeks later, Catherine came back and told me that people had started commenting that she looked different, younger, more defined somehow. She had not changed her weight. She had not had any procedures. She had simply been consistently doing these exercises every few days. Catherine's experience is not unique. It reflects something that makes complete anatomical sense once you understand the underlying principles. But wait, because before we get to the exercises, there is something I need to explain that most facial health conversations completely skip over, and that has a genuine and direct impact on how your face ages at a structural level. And this is the piece that surprised me the most when I first understood it fully. Stress, and specifically the hormone that chronic stress produces, has a direct and measurable effect on facial aging. The hormone is called cortisol, and your body produces it in response to stress. Now, a certain amount of cortisol is completely normal and healthy. It helps you wake up in the morning, it supports your immune response, and it helps your body manage challenging situations. The problem arises with chronic ongoing stress that keeps cortisol elevated day after day, week after week, month after month. Chronically elevated cortisol breaks down collagen. Collagen is the primary structural protein in your skin and in the connective tissue layers beneath it. When collagen breaks down faster than your body can replace it, the skin loses its firmness and the fascial layer loses its supportive integrity. Cortisol also promotes the accumulation of certain types of fat in specific areas of the face, which contributes to a rounder, puffier, less defined facial appearance. And cortisol impairs the quality of sleep, which is the period when your body does the majority of its cellular repair and collagen production. Poor sleep driven by chronic stress compounds the facial aging effects of the cortisol itself. It is a cycle that feeds itself, and its effects show up very visibly in the face over time. The practical implication of this is important. Managing chronic stress is not just good for your mental health or your cardiovascular health. It is directly relevant to the structural health and appearance of your face. Daily physical movement is one of the most effective natural ways to process and reduce cortisol levels. Some research suggests that a 30-minute walk is remarkably effective at reducing circulating cortisol because physical movement gives your body a productive outlet for the stress chemistry that builds up during a mentally stressful day. Your nervous system responds to mental stress by preparing your body for physical action. When you provide that physical action through walking or gentle exercise, you complete the biological stress cycle and cortisol levels come back down. When you sit with mental stress without any physical outlet, the cortisol stays elevated. That daily walk is not just good for your heart and your blood sugar, it is doing something meaningful for your face as well. Pro tip number 1, if you are going to add a daily walk for cortisol management, the timing matters. A walk in the evening after a stressful day may be particularly beneficial because it processes the cortisol that is built up across the day and supports better sleep quality overnight, which in turn supports overnight collagen production and cellular repair in the skin. Evening walks combined with the facial exercises I am about to share create a genuinely powerful combined approach to facial health from the inside and the outside simultaneously. Now let us talk about the muscles of the face and neck specifically, because understanding these muscles is what makes these exercises make complete sense. Most people are aware that their body's muscles respond to exercise by becoming stronger, firmer, and more defined. The same principle applies to the muscles of the face and neck. When those muscles are consistently used and appropriately challenged, they maintain their tone and their volume. When they are underused, they gradually weaken, lose volume, and begin to sag. And the lower face and neck contain muscles that are particularly prone to this kind of underuse-related loosening as we get older. One of the most important of these muscles is called the platysma. This is a broad, flat muscle that runs from your collarbone up through the front of your neck and connects into the lower face and jawline area. When the platysma maintains good tone, it keeps the front of the neck firm and supports the definition of the jawline. When it loses tone, it begins to hang loosely, creating that characteristic loose skin under the chin and on the front of the neck that people find so distressing when they notice it in photographs or in certain lighting. Here's something genuinely important about the platysma that changes how you should exercise it. This muscle is composed almost entirely of what are called fast twitch muscle fibers. Fast twitch fibers are designed for speed and explosiveness rather than sustained holding. Think about the movements this muscle is actually used for in everyday life. The quick gasp of surprise, the broad, fast smile, the rapid expressions of emotion that pass across your face in conversation. These are all fast, explosive movements. The platysma was never designed for slow, sustained stretching or long-held positions. This means that the typical advice people follow about stretching the neck back and holding the position is actually not the most effective approach for toning this particular muscle. The most effective approach is rapid, repetitive movement that matches the fast twitch nature of the fibers. Pro tip number 2, when you exercise the platysma and the other muscles of the face and neck, you will likely experience muscle fatigue and some soreness in the days that follow, especially when you are first beginning. This is completely normal and is actually a positive sign that you are effectively engaging muscles that have been underused. It is exactly the same process that happens when you begin any new exercise for any other muscle in your body. The soreness reflects genuine muscle work and adaptation. It settles as the muscles adapt and strengthen over the following weeks. Now let us go through the 3 exercises. I want to explain each one clearly, including what it is targeting, why it works, and exactly how to perform it. The first exercise targets the platysma directly. This is the muscle we just discussed that runs from the collarbone up to the jawline, and that is responsible for the firmness or looseness of the front of the neck and under the chin area. The movement involves rapidly contracting the muscle beneath the chin in quick repeated pulses rather than a slow, sustained hold. Because the platysma is a fast twitch muscle, this rapid pulsing action is precisely what it responds to most effectively. You will feel the muscle engaging very quickly, and it will fatigue relatively fast, which is perfectly normal and actually the goal. Aim for 10 to 15 rapid contractions followed by a brief rest of about 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat for 3 sets. Perform this exercise several times per week rather than every single day to allow the muscle adequate recovery time between sessions. Within a few weeks of consistent practice, many people begin to notice increased firmness in the area under the chin and along the front of the neck. Tell me in the comments right now, is the area under your chin or along the front of your neck one of the areas that concerns you most when you look in the mirror? I genuinely want to know, because you are not alone in this, and your comment might encourage someone else watching to finally try something that could genuinely help them. The second exercise targets the jaw muscles and the surrounding connective tissue of the lower face. This is an area that has been significantly affected in most people by changes in the modern diet. Our ancestors chewed foods that required genuine, sustained jaw effort. Tougher meats, fibrous roots, whole grains that had not been processed into softness. That regular, vigorous chewing naturally maintained the muscle volume and connective tissue integrity of the lower face and jaw. Today, most of the food most people eat is remarkably soft and processed. The jaw muscles rarely experience any significant resistance. Over time, those muscles lose volume and tone, and that loss contributes directly to the softening of the lower facial contour. This second exercise addresses that directly by providing the jaw muscles with resistance training that mimics the kind of challenge they used to receive from tougher foods. Place your hand firmly under your chin, providing gentle upward resistance. Then open your mouth slowly and deliberately against that resistance. You are essentially making your jaw muscles work against a load to open rather than simply dropping open freely. This movement engages the muscles and connective tissue around the jaw and lower face in a way that gentle resistance training engages any other muscle group in the body. Perform 10 repetitions, rest for 30 seconds, and repeat for 3 sets. Do this several times per week. Over consistent weeks of practice, this exercise may help restore some of the muscle volume and connective tissue tone that has been lost through years of soft food diets. The third exercise works on the jaw and lower facial muscles from a different angle and engages a slightly different group of muscles that are responsible for the forward position and definition of the jaw. This movement involves slowly and deliberately jutting the lower jaw forward and then returning it to its resting position. From the side, this movement is clearly visible as the lower jaw moves forward and back in a controlled and deliberate manner. This engages the muscles responsible for forward jaw movement and the connective tissue that supports jaw position, contributing to the overall tone and definition of the lower facial structure. Again, perform 10 repetitions, rest for 30 seconds, and complete 3 sets. Spread your sets out with rest periods between them rather than rushing through all 3 sets back to back. Pro tip number 3, consistency matters far more than intensity with facial exercises. 3 to 4 sessions per week performed consistently over 6 to 8 weeks will produce meaningfully better results than daily sessions performed for 2 weeks and then abandoned. The muscles of the face respond to training on the same time scale as any other muscles in the body. You would not expect to do 2 weeks of arm exercises and then stop and maintain the results indefinitely. The same applies here. Build these exercises into a sustainable routine that you can maintain over months rather than treating them as a short, intense intervention. Now, let me also address the role of nutrition in facial health because exercise alone tells only part of the story. Collagen is the primary structural protein in your skin and in the connective tissue layers beneath it, and your body needs specific nutritional building blocks to produce it consistently. Vitamin C is essential for collagen synthesis, and your body cannot produce collagen without it. Good food sources include bell peppers, kiwi fruit, citrus fruits, and strawberries. Protein provides the amino acids that form the actual building blocks of collagen. Adequate daily protein from quality sources like eggs, fish, lean meat, and legumes supports your body's ongoing collagen production. Staying well hydrated keeps the skin and connective tissue layers supple and resilient. Reducing sugar intake is worth mentioning specifically because high sugar consumption promotes a process called glycation, where sugar molecules attach to collagen fibers and make them stiff and damaged. Reducing added sugar in the diet is one of the most consistently evidence-supported dietary changes for supporting the long-term structural health of the skin and connective tissue. Let me bring everything together now with a clear, practical action plan that you can begin implementing this week. Start with the 3 exercises I described: the rapid platysma pulses for the area under the chin and front of the neck, the jaw opening against resistance for the lower face muscles and connective tissue, and the forward jaw movement for jaw definition and lower facial tone. 3 sets of 10 repetitions each, 3 to 4 times per week. Add a 30-minute daily walk to manage cortisol and support overnight collagen production. Focus on adequate protein, vitamin C, and hydration in your daily eating. Reduce added sugar where you can, and give this approach a consistent 6 to 8 week commitment before evaluating the results. Your face has been with you through every experience of your life. It deserves the same thoughtful care and consistent attention that you give to the rest of your health. And the genuinely encouraging thing is that the muscles and connective tissue of your face respond to targeted exercise just like any other muscles in your body respond to appropriate training. It is never too late to begin. In my next video, I am going to talk about 5 specific foods that some research suggests may actively support skin collagen and facial tissue health from the inside out in adults over 60. You are not going to want to miss that one, so please make sure you are subscribed and have your notification bell turned on. If this video gave you something genuinely valuable today, please share it with someone you care about who has been feeling frustrated by changes in their face and has never heard this particular explanation. That share could make a real difference for them. Remember, this video is for informational and educational purposes only. Always consult with your personal doctor before making any changes to your health. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a health tip. See you in the next video.